So welcome everybody. My name is Isabel Bombardier, and I'll be teaching you here the second part of QuickBooks. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for being here for the class. And I have placed on the chat this. I'm going to put it again, so make sure everybody gets it. These are the notes for today. And you can follow along or you can save it for later. And this will be recorded and available for all to watch later today. So you can follow along with these class notes. So, okay, so we're gonna start. The first thing we're gonna do is find our QuickBooks test drive. And you have to go to this link that I'm going to put on the chat. And that's a way to use QuickBooks test drive app that allow us to use QuickBooks, a sample of QuickBooks, and we don't have to pay. So if you click on this link, either here on the class notes or the link that I place on the chat, you can access the website that has the test drive that QuickBooks allow future users to use to access without cost. So once you click the link, it'll ask you the robot test and you click OK. Well, I have to click here that I'm not a robot and click OK. So welcome everybody again. I'm Isabel Bombardier. I'm the tech trainer. So if you can ask questions either at the chat or mute yourself. I have placed the notes and I also emailed the notes to everybody who signed up today. Now I just lost my notes. Where did they go? I have so many windows. Okay, here. So I'm going to put the link here again on the chat for all of you that just joined. And you can also use the link that is here that I also put on the chat to access the QuickBooks test drive, which is our way to use QuickBooks sample. Okay, so once you click that, you're gonna get to this site, and this is a sample of this landscaping company called Craig Design. You can work on this site and everything is gonna save until you close the window. Once you close the window, all the data you have entered, it gets deleted. So it's just save it while you have this browser open. But you can see there is a lot of data here as a sample, and that's why it's called a test drive. So at the end of this, QuickBooks did that. So it's just a sample to allow us to see what is all the full potential of QuickBooks. So today we're gonna do add a vendor. So last class, and you can find that class is on our YouTube channel. Also, you can also choose, we added customers. So this time we're gonna add a vendor. So a vendor or a supplier, depending on what kind of industry you are familiar with. In QuickBooks, they call them vendors. So vendors are the companies or individuals that provide services to your company or product to your company. So this could be if you have a machining shop, you're buying oil, you're buying spare parts, maybe you have a service for cleaning, maybe you have a service for maintenance of the air conditioner or heating. and so on. So those are your vendors or suppliers. It depends, different industry. So QuickBooks has vendors. So I'm gonna show you how to add a vendor. And last class we did customers. So customers, vendors. So this time we're gonna add vendors. So you can go here. Let me make this bigger. So you're gonna click here. Let me follow my direction. So we're gonna go to expenses right here on the left. And you see, once you click, go here on the left menu and hover over expenses, you're gonna see two choices, expenses and vendors. So we're gonna click on vendors. And then you're gonna see here, this is already populated at the end of this. This is the sample that gives us, you're gonna see examples of vendors for this landscaping company. So you're gonna see a list here and a lot of options. So this is a whole list of vendors, and you see a summary, and this is gonna be, you know, if you have paid your vendors or you owe your vendors. So if you're overdue with your paying your vendors, if you have any open bills, and how much you pay and how much needs to be done that hasn't been billed. So maybe a vendor hasn't sent you an invoice. So we did the inverse 2 weeks ago when we did with the customer. So this is the other side of the customer. So it's when you buy from the vendors. So we're gonna click here on the green button on the right that says new vendor. And that's where you're gonna add your vendor. So you can write it. So I can just put here maybe oil company, and maybe I can put Acme Oil Company since it's the name. And then you can choose how it's gonna display. So imagine you have a Rolodex and you just wanna choose how to find it on that Rolodex. So if you like this name, you can leave it like that. And if you don't like that name, you can change it to something else. So maybe you want ink or something else. Then you're gonna put the address. And once any other information, you can put an email. And what QuickBooks is gonna do when it has all this data already here, is gonna make it easier for you to fill out all your paperwork, all your purchase orders, or your reports. Anytime that you wanna pay the vendor, or the vendor requests a payment from you, you can call in this information. So you can you fill it fill all the information once and you're done. And then what you have to do is that changes something with the vendor goes out of business, or the vendor changes address, you just come here and edit it. And you can also make it inactive if you wish. So if maybe your accountant tells you you better make it inactive for something, you can change it. In website, you can add billing rate if that's helpful for you. If that changes, if that changes every month, maybe it's not good to put it. Terms, if that's set, so maybe this vendor requires you to pay it on receipt, or maybe it wants to pay it in 10 days. With the iPhone, so that's a good question. So there is a question about if you can sync the vendors with your iPhone. I think you can. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can. But you have to get the app, the QuickBooks app, on your iPhone or tablet. And then you have to allow, like you do any other communication app, you have to allow access to your contacts so they'll sync. So I haven't tried it, but that only gonna work on a device like a phone or a tablet. So I suggest you to download the QuickBooks app and try it on. Or let me see if I can find a video, a tutorial video for that. QuickBooks Sync contacts. And it might have it for suppliers, I mean vendors and customers too. So you can put the due on receipt or net 10 days. So you remember, oh, I have to pay this vendor. If this vendor wants and I want to have a good relationship, I need to pay them within 10 days. So you can do that. And there is all kind of information here that's customized for all kind of situation. So once you have that, you can save it. And then you're gonna see it in your list of vendor. It's gonna show up right there. And you can see all kind of example of different vendors. And the balance is just whatever you owe that vendor at that time. So for example, this vendor, this is an example for an insurance, how much you owe them. The other thing I was going to show you, we did it 2 weeks ago, is how to add a list of vendors. So if you have a list of vendors, like you have on an Excel sheet, and you want to bring it up, you can also do that. I'm just going to show you where you go. We did it with customers, so it's the same way. And there is a video here, a tutorial that show you it's all the little steps you have to do. But to add it on the list, if you want to add, if you have all your vendors on a Excel sheet or a Google spreadsheet, or you can put it in some kind of spreadsheet, you just save it as a CSV file. CSV file is comma separated value file. And then you go here where it says new. And then we're gonna do, where is it? Oh, it's the gear. Gear, you're gonna go here, and then you're gonna do import data. And when you import data, you're gonna click vendors. And then you're gonna browse and bring this Excel or CSV, and also has an option for that. And then you bring that up, and then all your vendors will be into QuickBooks, and you don't have to do it manually. And if you are unsure how to do that, I have an excellent tutorial here that you can follow step by step. And if you were with me 2 weeks ago, it's the same thing that we did with customers. But instead of customers, you choose vendors. So, and I'll show you there is a vendor. Here you can see your vendor under expenses vendors. You can see all your vendors together. You can see, like you can click here on the color. It's gonna be open purchase order, so that you haven't paid, overdue, which is past the time that they need to be paid, open bills, so that's, you know, maybe they're still working on it, and these are already paid. So you can sort just by clicking the colors, you can sort there. And you can clear, filter, and view all. And you can also, if you wanna change the vendor, if you wanna edit it, you just click here. You can click here, and you can edit it right here. And also, I think it's because mine is too small. I have to make it a little bigger. You can also edit it on the main thing here, but it's not giving me the option. So, but you can click here, and then you can edit. So that's the way you edit. If you want to add another phone number, you can go and edit it. Okay, any questions for that? So we're gonna move, I show you how to do that, and then I'm gonna move to another topic. And hold on the vendors, we'll do vendors more later on. but I wanted to start with it with the customers. 2 weeks ago, we did invoices. So I would like to combine the customers and invoices and getting paid. So the cycle. So why did you issue invoices? Invoices are issued when people are going to take the customer, the client. It's going to take you a while to pay you. So it's not the same thing than when you go to Acme or any grocery store or the pump gas, you pay right away. So people are going to send you you're going to send an invoice to your client, and you're going to tell them, pay me in 30 days, pay me in 90 days, and so on. So that creates a transaction that you have to follow. So if we go here to our QuickBooks, we're going to go here on sales, overview, and you're going to see, if you scroll down, you're going to see a little snapshot of what's going on with your sales. So how many invoices, and this is only invoices, are overdue, which ones are not overdue yet, which ones are not deposited. And when it says not deposited, it means that you have the check in hand or you have the cash in hand with you, maybe in a petty cash box in your drawer or in your safe, but it's not in the bank. When it says deposited, it means the money that the client gave you is in the bank and is recorded in QuickBooks as being in the bank. So that's what it means for QuickBooks. So you can go to all sales, and it's going to give you a snapshot of what's going on with your sales. So mainly, are you getting paid, or people are not paying you? So it's a snapshot how your income is going on based on the invoice on your sales. So it says here, maybe you have unbilled, overdue invoices, open invoices, and paid invoices. And you can click on the colors and filter by clicking on the colors. And last week we did, we issue an invoice. And then we can go here to invoices and just look at the invoices. So this is pretty cool because it will give you good information about what to focus your day. Maybe you need to start calling some of this. Maybe you need to start having meetings because these people are overdue for over a month or more. So that gives you a snapshot of what is priority. So, and then they have other things. You can go here to customers and it tells you what is going on. And then there is product and services. So in product services are the things that you sell to others. So this could be products, you know, like if you sell, maybe you sell butter, maybe you sell milk, maybe you sell cars, or services. So in this case, Craig is selling services. So that's why these only have services. So we're gonna create a service. So we're gonna create a service that we're gonna invoice to somebody, and then that person is gonna pay us, and then we're gonna record that transaction. So that's what we're gonna do in the next 40 minutes. So if you have any questions, let me know on the chat or unmute yourself. So first we're gonna go to sales here. Then we're gonna go to products and services. So let me start here from the beginning. So we're gonna go to sales, product and services, and then we're gonna click new. And we're gonna choose service. And service, they give you a choice: inventory, non-inventory, and services. So those are the three choices that QuickBooks categorize. So inventories are anything that you're gonna count. Non-inventory items is things that you don't count because it's like nuts and stuff. You just buy in bulk. Maybe you don't keep an inventory because it's too expensive to keep inventory on that. And then services. Since these two, we're going to talk about that later on because they takes a lot. We need to move further in order to touch base on this. And so that's why we're going to do services. It's easier to deal with services at this point. So we're going to click services, and then we're going to enter a service. So if you go here to my notes, you're going to see an example of a service that I enter. So I'm going to put lawn cutting. So if you have this open, or if I don't know how your setup is, but if you can, maybe you have this on your phone, or you can split the screen. You can follow and try to make enter this service like I just did here. So I'm going to do lawn cutting. And it gives you a lot of choices here. You can add a picture. You can have the SKU number. You can get a category. Once you have your QuickBook organized and you know how everything is going to go together, yes, you can do a category. There are some options here. I'm not going to add any. I just want to leave it empty now to avoid any confusion. But I can give you, this is already set up here. And if you have an idea what kind of categories, how they work for you, how they make your work easier, go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put the description here. So it's a service to provide grass cutting. So I put lawn cutting, but I just want to be more specific here. So I'm only issuing an invoice for grass cutting. I'm not issuing an invoice for picking up branches. I'm not issuing an invoice for trimming edges and so on. I'm not issuing an invoice for flowers. That would be another invoice. So I'm gonna do $50, and the service is a service. So I just gonna, this is already, I didn't set this up. These are already defaults within QuickBooks. And if you are experiencing accounting, you might want to look into charts of accounts and in QuickBooks. And maybe if you don't like any of this, you can start adding them. But since I'm good with this, I'm not going to add anything else. But again, if you're an accountant and you feel confident working with charts of accounts, you can customize it the way you want it. But QuickBooks gives you already some default options that work good, and you don't have to touch it if you don't want to. So then taxable rate and other options. So once you have this, I'm gonna save it. So this is to create a service. So I'm creating a service. Okay, so I did that service. So it's saved. And if I scroll down, it should be here. So any questions at this time? I can see your faces, so I don't know if anybody has any question or everybody's confused. So let me know if I can help you in any way possible. And of course, if you don't understand something, you can email me. You all have my email. So if you think of any other question, let me know. So you're gonna see here the service, and then if you change your mind, you can click edit and change anything on that service. And you can also scroll down and see examples of services. You can see here there is more detail. You can add inventory here. So anything that is helpful for that. So now that the service is set up, now I can sell that service to somebody. So let's do that. So, and here on the class schedule, on the class notes, you can see the the example that I made so you can follow too. So I'm going to enter a cell. So what's going on is we're going to follow this, the left route here. And did the customer pay a time of sale? So we're going to choose no, they're going to pay later. So I need an invoice. If the customer pay at the time of the sale is a sales receipt, we're going to do that in the next class. But today we're going to issue an invoice for the cases when I give my customer time to pay. So last week we did an invoice and we're going to make an invoice too, but now we're going to choose our loan cutting service. So we're going to go here to dashboard and we're going to click new. Then we're going to click invoice. Okay. And there is our little wizard that follows us, prompts us to follow how to enter the invoice. And if you get lost, you can click here, take a tour or help. And also I have a video in the previous, in the notes. So here I'm going to choose the customer. So I'm going to choose this Amy's Bird Sanctuary. And it's already populated. So this is a customer that was already added. I can, they're already, because this is our test drive, there is already customers here. You can add your own customer. So if you remember, oh no, I don't have my customer already, I want to add it, but I'm already in this screen and I don't want to get out. You can add a customer right here. You can just start typing customer test. I mean, you can come up with your name for a customer, just using customer. And I can click add customer test, and then you can have it really quick there. And then you can go later and add their phone numbers and everything you need. So that's another option that you can do here. But I'm going to choose this Amy Bird Sanctuary. And because everything is already filled up, it looks pretty, and you all can see the information. And then the invoice is already set up to today's date. So that's a default. If it happens yesterday or happened on a Sunday and didn't fill it out, you might want to put Sunday. That's something to talk to your accountant, but usually do it the day that happens or the day that you're in the office. But you have to be consistent. If you all are accountant or bookkeepers, you know that better than me. And the terms is already set up. I didn't set it up. It's already saved on the customer details. But if you want to change it, you can change it. I'm just going to do it like that. You can put a crew number if you have that. And now I'm going to choose here the product and service. So I'm going to click here and I just click in the box and I choose that service I just added. And again, if you have a service that you forgot to add, you can also add it here really quick and be done. And then later on, you can say, oh, I'm going to put more information. But I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to delete that one because I don't want that one. If you let me delete it, there it is. Yeah, it should be, should be delete this. No, I'm keeping adding, I'm adding stuff and it's not deleting. And I want it to go away. So there it is. So I clear line. So I'm going to choose again my loan cutting. There it is. And it's 50, so the rate is already chosen. So I don't have to enter it. You just, if it's one service, maybe you have it like by house or by loan or by field. But in this case, it's only one. And then also it has add to the invoice. So maybe you have, this is not your first invoice to this client, and that's why you have here, there is more information. So maybe that client owes you, you're giving them more than one invoice. So, but you can ignore that if you don't need it. So you can enter here the 50, then the tax, and there it is. So you can just click the arrow and it'll go away. So you're just looking at one invoice right now. And this is the service. So if you put two, maybe you did it 2 loans, it's gonna be calculated right there for you. But I'm gonna put just one, and it's called 50, and then you choose the tax here, and it'll have your message and the total. If when you're done, you click save and send. And then you have the option to, if this is a real email, it'll go to their email. You can print it or you can just email it. So it didn't send because this is a test, but if you do it on the QuickBooks, if you have it set up the QuickBooks for your company, it'll email the invoice. So now we send an invoice to Amy's Bird Sanctuary for $50 for lawn cutting. So the next thing on the flow is to get paid. So imagine that they came by the office and they pay. They brought a check to pay. So let's find where we get paid. Okay, so we received the payment from the customer. So we need to record that. So we're gonna record that the client gave us a check or cash, or maybe it was a credit card, or maybe whatever it was. They came to the office, they give it to us, or they send it by mail, whatever they chose, but we have the payment. So now we have to do two things. We need to record it on our book that we got the money, and we also need to notify the client that their invoice has been paid and they don't owe us anything. So it reflects in our book that we had the money and the invoice has been canceled. So they have paid the invoice. So right now, if we go to invoices, it should show Amy's invoice. Maybe it won't show because there it is. So this is all that she owes us. So if we click here, this is everything that she owes. So I can click, I can open it. I have to make this a little smaller because I can't see the whole thing. So you can click on this here and you can actually see everything. So we're gonna here view. So we can check everything. So if they pay 50, we need to record those 50. So there are two ways to do it. You can do it here, receive payment, or you can go here and click new customer and receive payment. And once you have received, you put that, you go here to receive payment, you can choose the customer and then you can put the invoice. So you need to find the invoice so it pulls up only that part that she that it's paying us, because otherwise it's not going to show up here. So we need to find the invoice number. So let's go back. We can just cancel this. No. Yeah, you want to live without saving. So that's why sometimes it's easier just to do receive payment. So I'm going to show you two ways. So what is the invoice that we want to pay? So let's find the invoice we just issued. So we want to view 1021. So we're going to go here, invoice, and then we're going to do Amy's, and then we're going to put, no, this is not the one, sorry. I went to the wrong one. New receive payment. We choose the client. 1021 was the invoice. We find it. And this is 239, but she only paid 50. So what is the method? We're gonna use a check, and you can put 100. You have other options. You can do cash, credit card, and so on. You are going to set this up in the undeposited funds account. So on the undeposited fund account is your petty cash, or where you keep all your payments that you haven't put in the bank. So you might have on your desk a folder that says to deposit, and that's the same thing than here in QuickBooks. So those are the checks of the cash that has not been put in the bank. So that's the same thing here. So we're going to choose, see, you have two invoices here connected. So we're going to choose the one that they pay us. If she paid both of us, then you can check both of them. But you have an invoice, you have two invoices here that come up for Amy. This is the 1021, that's where the two invoices were showing. So here, when you put Amy, you can either put 1031, if you know the invoice number, and it's gonna 1036. It's gonna find it's 1036. No, it was the other one. Let's put, oh, it changed me. Okay, so let's do this. 1038. You put 1038. You're gonna find it's gonna show you only this, the one that we issue for $54. If she's paying you $54, would you choose this invoice that she's paying for this only? If she gives you more money, more money, maybe she gives you $500, so you can also record this and give her the rest of the money. But for this case, I'm just gonna choose that she's gonna pay only $54. So that's all she's gonna pay. So she only gave me $54. So that money is only gonna be applied to the invoice of $54. You can also put a reference number. If she gave you a check, maybe you can put a reference number for that check, or whatever your accounting system is. Maybe you put here the check number, or maybe you have some other system to record this transaction. So you can also customize these QuickBooks to follow your own accounting. So you're going to choose here, invoice $54, because she gave you $54. You can also add, maybe she gave you 150. So maybe it'll apply to the rest. So you can put here whatever she's left that she hasn't paid. But see, it takes only that amount. So the invoice gonna say how much money is left to be paid. So, but let's do things simple and just assume that she only gave you $54, and we're gonna apply it to the invoice, this invoice only. Once you have that figured out, and this is not QuickBooks, this is just accounting, so this is the way how you choose to run your business. And QuickBooks is just a tool for you to make this process easier for you and to keep your money correct. So once you have all this set up, it's gonna say apply, and there is no money owed, and you say save. And remember, we said 100 here, the reference. So we can say save. And you're gonna say it's recorded. It's recorded that it got paid $54. So once you're done, you go here, and so she should have got notice. You can also print the invoice and stamp it as paid, but that's gonna look as paid. So I'm just, because this is QuickBooks sample, I'm not sure if it's gonna show up the last transaction, but I'm gonna try to find the last transaction, hoping that it'll find out. So we're gonna find here, you can find here all the invoices. So let's find out if Amy's is gonna show up. I'm hoping it'll show up. I did it this morning and it didn't show up. There it is. So here you can see this is a transaction you did. And then you can send the invoice link. You can send to say that it was paid, so you can view it. And print preview. And now you can say it says paid. So you can send this to your client, to Amy's Bird Sanctuary, and she's gonna have a record that she paid and she doesn't owe you any money. And you can have this record to yourself too. So that invoice is paid, and you can leave it, depends what your system is. You can leave it like this, or you can print it out, or you can send it to yourself. So you can send it by email, you can share a link, and you can print it too. And if something happened to that invoice, you can also void it. I wouldn't duplicate it, but if you want to duplicate it, here it is. So there, and you can delete it too. But right now you will see that we are not done, right? We're not done because we got to pay, but you see the difference between 1038 and 1001 is that when it says paid and when it says deposit. So what's going on here? Anybody knows what's going on here? So we have paid, but it's not deposit. Does anybody knows? What does it mean?
The check is still with us, the petty cash, I guess, right? We haven't taken it.
It's with us. So it's not, it's correct. Thank you. It's not physically in the bank. So this has not been in the bank. So if you go here to your banking and you will have in QuickBooks option to link your bank account. And we're gonna do that. I know everybody's asking me about it. We're gonna do that in the next class or the other next class. because it takes a little finesse to do that. Or you can keep it, like a book where you record and you manually mark when you deposit. So I'm going to show you two examples. So this example here on this website, on the test drive, is already connected. So this is how it would look if you connect your bank account to QuickBooks. So what does it mean to connect your bank account to QuickBooks? Is that you, like you do on your own bank, if you do online banking, you can go and move money around. Same thing you can do in QuickBooks, but you have to connect those two things and you have to get permission from your bank to share the information with QuickBooks. So it's a process, but we'll go through that in details in another class. But we can go here and find out. It's not going to show here. So Amy's is not going to show up here. Sorry. So it's not showing up because we haven't deposited her account. And also this is a sample, a test drive, so it's not capturing everything. So to make it like it's deposit, so imagine you went to the bank, you deposit the bank manually. Imagine you can walk to the bank and you deposit it to the bank and they give you a receipt. You have to come here to the to QuickBooks and record that transaction. So you're gonna go here to new, and you're gonna go here which it says deposit, and right now I don't see it, but it's here in other. So you're gonna go here, new, other, bank deposit, and then you're gonna choose the checking. This is your balance on the checking, and remember this is disconnected. So this is a simulation that is connected to a bank account. If you don't have it connected to your bank account, you're putting the balance manually. So you are getting the data every month and reconciling, and this is going to be what you do manually, reconcile. So just have in mind that if you are connected to the bank electronically between QuickBooks and your bank, you're getting the instant balance in your account. But if you are not, you are estimating the balance because you're reconciling so often, whatever you choose to reconcile. Maybe you reconcile once a month, maybe you reconcile once a day. But that's why you have to be careful what it means to be balanced, because if you think this is your real balance and it's not, it can be problematic. So, but the main thing is you have a bank deposit, you're gonna record it in QuickBooks, which is like when you go to the bank, you fill out a stub. Well, imagine you have to do the same thing in QuickBooks. You're gonna fill out the stub telling them, hey, QuickBooks, I deposit the money in the bank. So you're gonna choose the accounts or different accounts. I just chose checking account. You're gonna choose the invoice for today, which is this one. So it's showing here the defaults are all the transactions that have not been deposited. They are on the undeposited account. So you choose the one you're gonna deposit, you choose the method. Maybe they give you a check, maybe they give you cash. So I'm gonna put cash. You put the memo. So whatever is what you're following, I just put 100, but maybe I put something else. Maybe I put this. Whatever your accounting bookkeeping system is, you're gonna do it there. If you don't have anything, you can just leave it like that. Or here in the memo, you can say, you know, whatever note you want to leave to your accountant or for you for the future. So you choose this one, and then it's gonna say, the selected payment, and you click save, and now it's gonna show that you deposit that. So I hope this website will show me that, because it wasn't working before. So when you deposit here, it should show that it was deposit. Uh,
It did show, Isabel.
it did show,
Yeah,
yeah,
it said $54 was
yeah,
deposited.
yeah, it shows, but I want to see if it should capture here on your banking
Okay.
list. And I'm gonna see if I find it. Uh, I tried it this morning and it wasn't working, but it's supposed to show up here.
Can we just search for the vendor? I mean, the
Yeah, that's
customer?
I can search for that, but see, that's what is not happening. But I have a backup. Don't worry, I have a backup. So I have another QuickBooks here set up, and I made an account on QuickBooks. So it's a little trick I learned. If you go to QuickBooks Accountant, um, you can um, access QuickBooks for free for a while, but it's not the full QuickBooks. So I'm going to show you what happened. See if it no, it's not letting me go. So I took a screenshot, but where is, I was signing and it signed me out. No, it's not there. Oh. So if you go here, I have a screenshot, and it's gonna show up. But let me find out why it's not letting me do my QuickBooks. So in theory, it's gonna show up on your bank account as you deposited, as it was deposited. So and now I can find that one. So it'll record the deposit. And let me see if I have it here. Oh yeah, so the other way to do it is you can check on the bank, and it'll show up here that you deposited. It's not showing right now because this is a test site, so some things are limited because it's not perfect. But if you do it with a real QuickBooks, it'll happen. You can also go here to your invoices and find out that it was paid. There was deposit. So it should show Amy's was deposited. So right now it added to the previous one. So it should show here, but it's not showing again. So 254 right here. So here now it changes from paid to deposited. So now you know that is in the bank, and you can count with the money in the bank. You can also click here, not deposited, will filter anything that has not been sent to the bank. So you can see, oh, I have to take those to the bank. And then you can also click here on deposited, and it is gonna show up everything that has been deposited. So you can filter right there for that. And then when the banking is connected, then you can find your deposit here also. So you can have your register that has been deposited. So we have done the cycle of payment. with invoices. So we receive, we issue an invoice. We provided a service. We created a service, which is loan cutting. We send an invoice to the client. We receive the payment. We recorded the payment, let the client know that their invoice is paid, and then we deposit the account and we let the QuickBooks know that the bank account has, the account has been, the $54 has been deposited. So now we should have our all records, the whole cycle closed. If you go to Wave, it's much easier. I just put the screenshots here for Wave. You go to, you're gonna go to Sales, click Invoice, and then record the payment. You can also go here. That's the other way to do it. You can go here to Invoice. You can find the invoice that is overdue and receive, and just click Receive Payment. And you can do it right here also. So there's different ways to do it. So at this time, we're almost finishing, but I just wanna find out if you have any questions. At this point, I have more information here, tutorials. And then next class, we're gonna do for next class, we're gonna add a bank and connect the bank account, attempt to do it. We're gonna do a sales receipt. So we're gonna start adding a bank, attempt to connect it, and entering a sales receipt. So the other side of the cycle. I would suggest if you want to try what I did, and you can try the accounting here, the accounting, the QuickBooks accounting, and create an account here. I'm going to put it on the chat. And there, oh, sorry, I just saw a question. So don't leave. I'm going to answer the question. But you can go here and create a free account. It's free account. And you can access QuickBooks account is the accountant version, but it will have the business size too, which is pretty cool. And we might gonna start using that so you can see the full potential. So Amy Spacey, if it shows up on Amy's page. So if we go to customers and I click Amy's, it's gonna show up everything that is going on. So here is closed. So a status is closed. Yeah, so you can see here all the status. So you know that she paid, and then in accounting you record twice. You record, it's the double recording system. So you record that pay and then record that she canceled, and then you can see everything else. So there's everything that's going on. So it seems like Amy, there is some work an accountant has to do with her account because it's a mess. It seems that she's overdoing things. She paid some, she hasn't paid the others. Some things are late. So yeah, that's needs a full-time accountant to deal just with her. So any questions so far? We have 2 more minutes, but if you have any questions, write on the chat or let me know by email. And the next class is February 17. And I hope to see you all there. And if you have any other questions, let me know. And I'm going to send you the tutorial for how to sync the, if I think I can find the sync with the app, your contact. Okay, so you all take care and stay warm, stay safe.
Thank you, Isabel. Good night.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a good night.